necessary documents have also been signed and funds have been made available for the construction of the overhead bridge. On various gridlock being faced in some parts of Akure, Mr. Ogunleye called for change of attitude, noting that a mobile court has been put in place to try offenders.
It's as a sort of agitation that to have a free flow of traffic to make life better for the good people from those places. And then that place is a thoroughfare to other states, the north, the south. So we want to make that place very easy for every Nigerian, even the international people that may be coming to Nigeria. To be facing it.
Speaking.
Publicity, sensation, but they don't. But every day we are climbing them. We will remove your plate number. We tow your vehicle. You will pay, and then I have a good news for you. The good news is that we have mobile courts. Some people may want to claim rights that it's good for them to park at an just park anyhow. They want to justify it. They have the right. So we have a dedicated mobile court now.
Speaking on the status of free school shuttle, the special advisor on transport said measures are in the pipeline to ensure a smooth running of the bus's operation. He therefore appealed to residents to always support the present administration of Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu in his determination to take the state to greater heights.
Decision given to us then, we can't, because COVID-19 had all cloud. So social distancing, keep to a bus, you see about 120. It's enough crowd to give room for COVID-19. So they gave us some Aquilian tax. So from there, this issue of where here and there and there, we are looking for a better things to do with it. The buses are intact. We've not sold, we've not auctioned any. So it wasn't a deliberate act.
That was the special advisor to Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu on transportation, Toby Ogunleye, speaking there. Are you a lover of second-hand products, particularly home appliances and materials, or the economic situation in the country is pushing you to purchase these products? Perhaps you need to reconsider or do due diligence before deciding to purchase these items, because some may be stolen goods. The Ondo State Police Command has paraded 7 suspects in connection with housebreaking and stealing. The suspects include an individual who allegedly bought stolen household items. Osrc Zaid Aribisala reports that other suspects paraded included suspected rapists and cultists.
18 suspected criminals arrested by the Ondo State Police Command are up for parade at the command's headquarters in Akure. Among the 6 arrested for housebreaking and stealing is a middle-aged man who confessed to breaking into a house in Ondo City and cutting away valuable items, which he in turn sold to another person.
I want plasma which one sanctify and I brought me call here. I go carry on for one person house. I go sell them. They go hold me. I brought me call here. I don't know say it will be like this. I know what do I want. This first time website. I never take say I come for travel. But this thing happened to me.
I just him. I just that plus one plus. So just I don't buy him for another person hand.
One of the suspects was also nabbed for stealing and selling gas cylinders. Some of those arrested in connection with the act claimed to be buyers of these stolen items, while they denied having knowledge of the goods were stolen.
So ìgbà tí bàbá yẹn so wọ́n ṣàjẹ̀dá bí ó ti tó bí ọ̀sẹ̀ kan báyìí ó wá kó gáàsì mẹ́ta fún mi so mo ṣàrà gáàsì mẹ́ta yẹn lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ òun ló fi wá bá mi jìlálì ni mo dẹ̀ ń tà nínú ọjà so àwọn pípò tán kó wà kò sílẹ̀ tí mo bá ra nǹkan kan nù ẹ̀ ibi títẹ̀ mímọ́ ni.
so lára àwọn bọ́ọ̀sì yẹn àárín kan tó ń jẹ́ innocent ń bẹ̀ tó máa wá ń ta ọjà jìlálì fún ìyàwó mi tó bá dẹ̀ fẹ́ máa ra mo máa ń béèrè question lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ pé ṣé òun ló ní nǹkan àní ti ilé òun ní àdẹ̀búra àní ti ilé òun ni so òun ló gbé innocent yẹn gbé gáàsì fún gbogbo kan tó ń pè ní top òun ló wá gbé gáàsì mẹ́ta fún ìyàwó mi pé kó rà ìyàwó mi dẹ̀ rà ó dẹ̀ béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ pé ṣé tiẹ̀ ni ó ní tòun ni.
2 other persons are in police net for murder, one of them for allegedly raping to death an 80-year-old woman in Ore, Odigbo Council area, while the other person, a 29-year-old laborer and Togolese national, who in the process of attempting to rape a 58-year-old woman allegedly caused her death. A 17-year-old boy was also arrested for unlawful possession of firearms. 7 of the suspects were arrested for courtesan in our local government area and another 2 for stealing a motorcycle.
We also have cases ranging from stealing to cult activities. These suspects are also here. Also, we have another case of unlawful possession of firearm. A young boy of 17 years old was caught with a Beretta pistol. At the end of the investigation, he's going to be charged to court. We also have a case of burglary and stealing, which is the specialty of some people. They entered into a community and stole from various homes. But today, some of this property have been recovered and they are also in custody. At the end of the investigation, they all will be charged to court.
The State Police Public Relations Officer, Fumilayo Odulami, said the command, under the leadership of a new Commissioner of Police, Taiwo Jesubihi, will leave no stone unturned to rid the state of criminals.
There is a new sheriff in town and like what he said during his first meeting with you, that he will ensure you do everything within his power to ensure that criminals are flushed out of the state. That is what he's doing and that is what we are seeing today.
The suspects, according to the police authority, will soon have their days in court. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
To politics now, at a special reception for former People's Democratic Party stalwart and his supporters, one-time National Assembly candidate Olumuyiwa Ade has pledged to work for the continuous progress of All Progressives Congress (APC) while advancing the cause of his people. Osrc Zaid Aribisela again reports that the APC chairman in Ondo State, Ade Adetimehin, alongside other party leaders, received Mr. Adu to their fold at the MKO Abiola Democracy Park, Akure venue.
From his family house at Ward 9 in Uro, Akure South local government area of Ondo State, a former candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Olumuyiwa Adu, led his supporters to the streets of Akure. In a carnival-like atmosphere, he moved through the Arakale axis down to Ojaoba, making his intention to join the All Progressives Congress (APC) publication to the admiration of people. A momentary pause was observed at the palace of the Akure monarch to receive royal blessings. From the palace, the Akure-born politician and his supporters processed to the All Progressives Congress Secretariat, where he was set to be received by the party. However, the crowd of supporters, including artisan and youth groups who accompanied the politician, prompted the party's leadership to move to a much bigger location, the MKO Abiola Democracy Park. The state chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Ade Adetimehin, members of the state working committee, elected and appointed chieftains of the party were present to receive Mr. Adu and some grassroots leaders of the PDP with fireworks.
We achieved this because Akeredolu is working very hard to uplift the standard of progressive APC in Ondo State.
Now a member of the All Progressives Congress, Olumuyiwa Adu, in his address, described his defection to APC as homecoming, promising to work for the party's success to the delight of members.
First and foremost, appreciate the leaders of the APC that has made the party ready for all of us standing here to say we just must join you. Come to join forces with them so that we can be more stronger. And forward ever, backward never.
Music maestro Abbas Akonde, popularly called Obesere, was on hand to provide the musical spark for the various socio-cultural support group on the entourage of the Akure-born politician and other APC members. The All Progressives Congress used the occasion to receive other prominent opposition members from Idori, Akoko Northeast, Akure North, and Akoko Northwest, including NNPP candidate in the last House of Assembly election, Oluwaseyi Kolawole.
It's a big fish into APC.
Dr. Barrister Olumuyiwaju, as a philanthropist, a man of integrity, a man of sound mind.
The task handed down from the political party to these new members is for them to consolidate their presence at the various ward levels to further make impact for the progress of the All Progressives Congress in Ondo State. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
Elsewhere in Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde has dissolved the State Executive Council. He also terminated the appointment of all political office holders. In a letter by Chief of Staff to the Governor and Chairman, Transition and Inauguration Committee, Segun Ogunwuyi, the Governor thanked all the appointees and asked them to hand over government property in their custody. Now to Abuja, where President Muhammadu Buhari has presided over an extraordinary FEC meeting at the State House Abuja, which saw the council considering over 40 memos from various ministries, departments and agencies. It was the second extraordinary FEC meeting in 2 weeks, coming 24 hours before the valedictory council meeting today. 28 memoranda that could not be considered last Wednesday will be reviewed alongside others as the tenure winds down before Monday's handing over. Shortly after the meeting, Buhari said he has built personal cordial relationships with neighboring countries, stressing that should anyone disturb him after leaving office, his Niger Republic neighbors will defend him. The president also defended the huge debt profile bedeviling his administration, which is put at 77 trillion naira, saying his administration invested in infrastructure as a deliberate way to fight poverty and create jobs for economic development and prosperity. In the meantime, worried by President Muhammadu Buhari's refusal to sign the sexual harassment bill, some civil society organizations led by the Anti-Sexual Harassment Advocacy has appealed to the president to sign the bill and put an end to the menace. A member of the group and executive director of the Center for Awareness on Justice and Accountability, Kabiru Dakata, said the bill would provide a universal guide for prosecuting sex offenders in tertiary institutions. Also speaking on the bill and the issues surrounding it becoming law, immediate past Secretary, Nigeria Bar Association, NBA, Joyce Odwa, described the bill as a step in the right direction to curb sexual violence. The civil society organizations added that the National Assembly should exercise its veto power and get the bill fully enacted into law if the president fails to do the needful. Federal lawmakers in 2016 took steps to reverse the trend of sexual harassment and rape of children and women in Nigeria by producing a legal instrument that criminalizes the arts. In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari says the advent of more sophisticated means of smuggling and the attendant security threats require a robust and agile customs administration. He said this explained why he signed the new Customs Act into law, stressing that it would enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of customs administration. Buhari made the statement while inaugurating the new headquarters building of the Nigeria Customs Service in Maitama, Abuja, which cost 19 billion naira. He commended the Controller General of Customs, Hamid Ali, for delivering the mandate issued to him in 2015. Network Against Corruption and Human Trafficking, NACAT, has petitioned the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, asking that former Akwa Ibom State Governor Godswill Akpabio be investigated over corruption allegations during his tenure as governor of the state. The civil society organization, which accused the former governor of mismanagement of funds, alleged that Akwa Ibom people's fortunes were mortgaged for personal gains under him. The allegation is coming few days to inauguration of the 10th National Assembly, with the former Minister of Niger Delta Affairs as one of the front-runners for the Senate presidency. Led by its Executive Director of Investigation, Samson Tega, and its operational manager, Stanley Ogabe, the group, during a press briefing in Abuja, said Akpabio is not fit to be Senate president, considering the allegation against him. Reacting, the chief press secretary to Akpabio, Jackson Udom, described the development as a witch hunt meant to scuttle the Senate presidency of Benshot of the former governor. He said Akpabio left office 8 years ago after meritorious service to the state, and his legacies and performance from 2007 to 2015 are still visible in all nooks and crannies of the state. The Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria has expressed displeasure over the recent decision by the federal government to increase allowances for only some public workers in the country. It said the pay rise approval establishes the point that some public workers are considered more important than others, creating room for grievances, problems, and strikes. The president of the society, Cyril Usufo, said the importance of community pharmacists in primary health centers should not be neglected in welfare, adding that a holistic approach is what makes the health sector flourish. He said the association might be forced to take more drastic action if urgent steps were not taken regarding pay raises for its members. Last week, the National Association of Resident Doctors embarked on a nationwide strike, protesting poor salaries and working conditions. To Lagos State, where the state government has unveiled plans to build houses on water to attract tourists and provide a world-class environment for residents of Isale Akoka community in Shomolu local government area of the state. General Manager of Lagos State Urban Renewal Agency, Ajibike Shomade, gave the assurance, noting that the state government had a vision of providing a world-class environment that would attract tourists from all over the world to the community. She said Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has started the process by approving the construction of roads for accessibility to the area. The General Manager reaffirmed the state government's commitment to providing a world-class living environment for the residents and elsewhere in Lagos. Embattled Afrobeat musician Seun Kuti has regained his freedom after spending 8 days in police custody. He was taken into custody last week after he submitted himself at the State Criminal Investigations Department, Banti, Lagos State. Seun's elder sister, Yeni Kuti, said the musician had met the bail terms granted him by the magistrate and was released. The police is alleging that the singer drove dangerously on the highway out toward 3rd Mainland Bridge and deliberately grabbed a policeman in uniform, raining slaps to his face. South Africans have blamed their local government for failing to provide clean water as deaths from cholera rose to 15 in the country's most populous province. The health department in Gauteng province declared a cholera outbreak on Sunday in an area about 50 kilometers north of capital Pretoria in the city of Shawane. Almost 100 people have been seen at hospital and 37 have been admitted to wards. The city government has warned residents of Hammarskraal and surrounding areas not to drink tap water. Cholera has experienced a global resurgence since 2021 after a decade of steady decline. According to the United Nations, which this week warned 1 billion people in 43 countries were at risk. The U.S. has distanced itself from an incursion into Russia, which Moscow says ended in the defeat of armed insurgents who entered from Ukraine. Parts of the border region of Belgorod came under attack in one of the largest cross-border raids since Russia invaded its neighbor last year. Russia later released pictures of abandoned or damaged Western military vehicles, including U.S.-made Humvees. The U.S. insisted it did not encourage or enable strikes inside of Russia. A State Department spokesman acknowledged reports circulating on social media and elsewhere that U.S. supplied weapons had been used, but said his country was skeptical at this time of the veracity of these reports. Representatives of President Joe Biden and congressional Republicans have ended another round of debt ceiling talks with no signs of progress as the deadline to raise the government's $31.4 trillion borrowing limit or risk default ticked closer. The two parties remain deeply divided about how to rein in the federal deficit, with Democrats arguing wealthy Americans and businesses should pay more taxes, while Republicans want spending cuts. Akintunde Akishimola has detailed.
With just 10 days left until a default that could rock the American economy and beyond, there's still no deal between debt limit negotiators headed by top congressional Republican Kevin McCarthy and President Joe Biden. Speaking to reporters, McCarthy said he would meet with the Democratic president every day until they can find a way forward on the federal government $31.4 trillion debt ceiling, and called the day's talk the best they've had.
We're going to let the teams work tonight, see if we could get progress, but we didn't. Productive but not progress. Well, I would assume I'd meet with President Biden every day till we get this done. This is too important. Look, if we don't meet, I'm sure we're going to talk on the phone. But we're going to have the staff get together, and then we're going to get back. It was not set that we had to see one another, or at least we're going to talk, but nothing's set.
Any agreement to raise the limit must pass both chambers of Congress before Biden can sign it into law, which will take several days. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen offered a sobering reminder of how little time is left, saying the earliest estimated default date remains June the 1st, and that it is highly likely that Treasury will no longer be able to pay all government obligations by early June if the debt ceiling is not raised. Failure to lift the debt ceiling will trigger a default that will shake financial markets and drive interest rates higher on everything from car payment to credit cards. Ongoing uncertainty is already weighing on investors and stocks. Jeff Tamasulo is CEO of Vespula Capital Management and Tactical Income. He says it's all grim deja vu.
Well, to be frank, I think it's quite ridiculous that we're doing this again, right? I feel like it just shows the rest of the world how dysfunctional our government has been over the last 10, 15 years. And, you know, in my eyes, we're playing Russian roulette with the United States credit. And it shouldn't even be an option. And I don't even know why we continue to allow this to happen, where we're, you know, just allowing, you know, these congressmen and senators and these politicians, again, to wreak havoc or to kind of play with the good standing credit of the United States of America.
Biden is racing for a solution after insisting that Republicans should pass a clean, unconditional increase before he would agree to any spending negotiations. Under Trump, Congress raised the debt limit 3 times without a similar demand from Republicans for sharp spending cuts. Akintunde Akishimola, Osrc News.
A woman hit by a police motorcycle escorting the Duchess of Edinburgh has died. Helen Holland from Essex was struck at the junction of West Cromwell Road and Warwick Road in West London 2 weeks ago. Her family said the 81-year-old fought for her life, but irreversible damage to her brain finally ended the battle today. An investigation into the crash by the police watchdog is ongoing. Renowned Islamic studies scholar Tariq Ramadan has been cleared of rape and sexual coercion by a Swiss court. Mr. Ramadan, who is a Swiss citizen, is the grandson of Hassan al-Banna, the founder of Egypt's Muslim Brotherhood. The case was brought by a Swiss woman who said she had been raped by Mr. Ramadan in a Geneva hotel in 2008. A convert to Islam and a fan of Mr. Ramadan's, the woman told the court she had been subjected to a brutal sexual assault, beatings, and insults. Ramadan, who is 60, had faced up to 3 years in prison if convicted, but denied all the charges, but did admit to having met the woman. Finally, German police have carried out raids in 7 states in a probe into climate campaigners suspected of forming or backing a criminal group because of their controversial activities. 7 people aged 22 to 38 are suspected, but no arrests have been made. For months, Last Generation has disrupted traffic in German cities and performed stunts like hurling mashed potato at an artwork. Chancellor Olaf Scholz has condemned their campaign as completely crazy. Some 170 police took part in today's raids on flats and other buildings in Berlin, Bavaria, Dresden, Hamburg, and elsewhere, shutting down the group's website and freezing 2 accounts. And with that story, we'll conclude World at Noon. Thank you for your time. Good afternoon.